In one recent interview, Trump claimed that the tragic events in Orlando wouldn't have turned out quite as bad if more club-goers had been armed themselves. Isn't it crass to suggest that a club full of armed people, you know, getting drunk, etc., is a good idea? I know that he did pull that back a few days later, saying that it's about guards and employees having it, but the way he said it in the first place suggested that he wanted a lot of drunk people with weapons in a club. The fact that firearms are so commonplace in the US is surely part of the problem here, isn't it?
Well, yes, but telling gay people that, you know, they should be in safe spaces and gun-free zones is the exact opposite of looking after them. Gun-free zones are safe spaces for killers. All of the big shooting tragedies recently in the US have happened in gun-free zones because they're the places the maniacs can go knowing that no one's going to shoot back until armed response arrives from law enforcement. Now, what Trump said, you know, everyone in the club should be armed. Well, I said a similar thing, you know, when I first saw that, and even the NRA said maybe that's a little bit far. So, you know, maybe it's not a good idea to have lots of guns around where people are drinking. But here's the key point. Here's the message. Progressives are telling gays that the way to deal with this is twofold. One, to deny the connection between Islam and terrorism, to deny the connection between Islam and homophobic attacks like this. You can't do that anymore after Orlando. And two, that these expressions of peace and love from dumb celebrities are somehow going to keep people safer. They're not. What will keep people safer is being honest with them about the risks, being honest with them about the perils to gay lifestyle in America. Being gay in America has become dangerous again, not thanks to the religious right, not thanks to like cis-het white patriarchal, you know, school shooters. It's become dangerous again because of Islam. And if people are not adequately educated about this, and if people are not, you know, told the truth, they're not able to protect themselves and protect their families. The most productive thing that I've seen come out of all of this is the Pink Pistols, which is a great organization in the US, and various other gun enthusiasts telling gay people, come down, we'll teach you how to use a gun for free, we'll teach you how to protect yourselves. Now, whether or not you think that a nightclub of gay people should necessarily have been, you know, packed with firearms is up to you, but I'll just leave you with two thoughts. One, I don't really think that any gay club, you know, if you've ever been to a gay club, you know what the atmosphere is like, you know, fun, jubilant. I don't think anybody's about to, like, start a fight and, you know, kind of pull guns on each other. I mean, the only people who would do that probably are lesbians. But, you know, the other key point here is what you've got to be honest about this. If 3 people had guns, if they'd been strapped up, if they'd had concealed carry permits in that nightclub, the situation would have ended very differently, and the number of casualties could have been 2, not 50.
Offense. Sorry for interrupting. It's just that the fact that if they feel as if that's what's happening, you could have a risk that it's sending the message out to more Muslims, for instance, to support these killers, etc., because you're denouncing their faith, you're denouncing who they believe Muhammad is their leader. Things like that, they go a long way, don't they, in the Muslim world?
Well, you hear this sometimes from Muslim leaders, you know, and what it boils down to is like, be nice to us or we'll kill more of you. Well, I'm sorry, but that doesn't sound like sensible advice about calming down overheated rhetoric in the public square. It sounds like a threat. And frankly, I think people need to understand that the anti-gay and the anti-women problem, by the way, because I don't take any pleasure in seeing the streets of London change like they have recently with all of these people wandering around in blankets and towels. What I see is a set of beliefs profoundly antithetical to our way of life, which routinely oppresses the hundreds of millions of women who are affected by it, and which kills homosexuals. And let me be very clear about this. This is not Islamism. This is not terrorism. This is not ISIS. This is Islam. In Britain, which is not an extremist country where we're supposed to all be assimilated, 100% of Muslims, according to a Gallup poll just a few years ago, said that homosexuality was an unacceptable lifestyle choice. 52% of them want it made illegal. And for the feminists out there, I'd also like to remind you, 39% of British Muslims say that a woman should always obey her husband. What difference does my rhetoric make when 100% of Muslims already believe that homosexuality is an unacceptable lifestyle choice? That is a direct result of their belief system. Nothing I say is going to make a difference. What I want to focus on is protecting people against that threat.
Just to put one final point to you on what you're saying, that to paraphrase in a very rough way, that Muslims are against gay people because of their religion and are calling for a crackdown. America is defined by its diversity of peoples. The LGBT community has to struggle for its rights. You know that better than anyone. Should the Muslim community really be persecuted in what's a similar way here?
We need to get away from talking about about the country in terms of the X community and the Y community. The left has done this. It has divided people for decades. It's say, oh, you're the gay community, so you get these special rights and responsibilities, and you're oppressed, and you're underprivileged, and you've been struggling. I don't know any gay people who struggle. Being gay is a massive competitive advantage these days. Sure, 50 years ago, maybe not. 50 years ago, of course, when it was outlawed by all the states, it was institutions like the Catholic Church who were protecting gay people by putting them into the clergy. But never mind. Pitting these minorities against each other is not something I did. I didn't invent this. The progressive left did. They precipitated these minority wars by setting blacks against Hispanics, gays against Muslims. Well, this is the result. This silly dream of multiculturalism driven by incompetent, idiotic, globalist politicians who think that everybody is just the same as everybody else and everybody can live nicely together. Well, your peace, love, and understanding rhetoric does not influence mullahs in Iran and does not influence hate preachers in Orlando. They're going to listen to you, laugh at you, and carry on preaching hate. Because, all these hashtags on Twitter and all of the ridiculous platitudes that are pouring out of dumb celebrities and progressive politicians right now, how many Islamic radicals, fundamentalists, how many hate preachers, how many Muslims at home do you think are listening? How many lives do you think this will save? None. Gay charities, every single gay charity in America deserves to be shut down after their response to Orlando, which has been spineless and pandering. It is absolutely shocking.
That's the thoughts of Milo Yiannopoulos, a columnist for conservative news website Breitbart, and also known on Twitter to his hundreds of thousands of followers as Nero. We appreciate your time and your thoughts on this subject. Thank you.